Welcome to one of the most exciting Farthest Frontier builds I've done in a long time. We're going to attempt to build out a small map, the City of Calm. And what we're going to do is try to get to 1,000 population. This is going to be a very exciting gameplay, so please sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy. Let's get this started. So we can realistically start anywhere we want, but we do want to be close enough to resources that we can use for late game industry. Infinite gold and infinite iron up here. Lots of iron, lots of predators, but also herbs and all kinds of good stuff. So this is a small map, infinite sand. This is actually pretty crazy up here. So, more herbs, more iron. So if we build down here, we got two infinite clays. Wow, lots of infinites. But it's really far away from all of the good stuff. So we would have to have quite a bit of weird things going on. I think actually right here, right in the thick middle of this is a really cool spot because we're really close to all these things for late game. And we have all this wood and we have clay over here. Yeah, this is perfect. Some small lakes that we can build around. I'm thinking this is it right here. And what's cool is we won't have to move anything. This is going to be a completely organic build. I'm just going to fill in the city. We're going to rely more on standing armies in this gameplay. So we're going to have our defenses set up, but it's just going to develop naturally. Now, one thing that cannot develop naturally is your food production with your farms. Your farms need to be in the same place or this game just starts to break down. And that's because farmers will move to other farm fields when they're done working to help out and alleviate with that stuff. So we have a great area down here that I think is perfect for farming. Looks nice up against this lake. We also have an area over here. Unfortunately, like I said, you really want to keep everything in one place. Now, what we could do is keep our farming here, and if it proves beneficial, do some kind of thing like cows, and orchards over here, if it has the better fertility. So at this point in time, we're gonna build this out. Now, make sure you never, ever place your town center on a rock, or it will take forever to build. Now, we're on a lighter difficulty, fast modifier for knowledge. We have 5 months worth of food. So one of the better food routes in the very beginning of the game is now the forager. But this area here does not have a whole lot of forage. So we are, we got lots of wolves over here and we got a deer over here. So what I'm thinking is we're going to play to the strengths of this starting area. And I am going to place a hunter cabin, 2 hunter cabins here to help fight off the wolves, hunt boars potentially, and the deer. Now we are going to try to kill all of the wolves to prevent them from eating us in our sleep. I am a good man, a good steward now. Now we're going to bump this up to ×2 and let them get to work. They have a bit to do here. So we're going to cut down some trees over yonder. Got some good trees around us. But overall, the build is just going to kind of develop naturally, and I want to see how big we can get it. I would like to get to 1,000 population at a minimum. And we're just going to start etching into the side of things. I'm not going to do any major terraforming or cheese to the extent that, except like right here, little like 2 5-minute projects, right? Kill all of this stuff over here will be in good shape. All right, and they are hard at work. This is awesome. Boom, okay. So we got a good thing going on here. Now the food is going to be the hard part. We got to kill these wolves before they start killing us. So one thing I would really like is to get a smoker up. And we can place that really anywhere. Harvest this rock right here. Prioritize it. Villager has already died? Oh my god.
Will do.
What the f are they doing? They're like, they just like don't want to live. Alright, Hunter now has a weapon. So yeah, we already lost a villager. Alright, let's pause real quick because we do need to get up our basic infrastructure. So, we need to get ourselves a firewood splitter and a well. Now, this is a good area over here. So, I'm probably going to put the well right over here, all around some housing and such. Once I get 2 hunters, we'll come in and start clearing this area out above. All right, we got ourselves 2 hunters. All right, here we go. let's come in here and start killing wolves. We also have a nice little salvage site right here. That's going to help out a lot. It's a little difficult to see where the wolves are, so we'll have to be really careful in here. Come on, wolves. Nope, here they come. Clean out the wolves real quick. Alright, so this site is done. Let's kill it. Right there, going ham on that. Alright, we got one of the wolf sites. I saw a wolf up here. Oh, crap. There's more wolf dens up here. Okay, let's get this wolf den too. This is a beautiful area for us, though. Okay. Looks like one wolf down here. Kill that one real quick. Oh, and that was all the wolves over here at this den, so we'll kill this den too. Beautiful. Yeah, we're getting everything cleaned out over here. And that's pretty much all she wrote. We could leave the boar spawn, and it would probably be wise. It may or may not attack people here and there, but that's okay if they die, because I think in the long run that's going to help us out quite a bit. Alright, so we got wood cutting going. We're going to cap this to 1,000. A lot of stone around us, so that's beautiful. Okay, and we got the well down here, so we need to get some housing up. So let's this area cleaned up real quick. So I'm thinking for our first housing area, yeah, we should probably do some houses down here. Right here is actually a better spot. Yeah, our first housing area is going to be here. And I like to do, I think I want to make this look nice. So we're going to leave room for a fence, but we're going to do the classic square design like this. The spot in the middle, but an area for decorations and then a fence. So I want a 2-tile gap around the whole thing. It look cool. And yeah, the areas are going to be, I think I'm going to insulate areas like this. They're just going to be their own thing. Decorations have such a huge radius that you can get away with some cool stuff in this game now. And look at that. Yeah, we got a road going up into this. Perfect. Okay. And then I like the well. I'm kind of thinking we do a 2-tile gap in between, because we can fit decorations and all types of cool stuff here. That'd be kind of neat if we, yeah, I did that. A lot of cool things like bakeries, pubs. So we can just kind of naturally bring those things into the design. All right, we're getting the housing up. Food should be going here soon. I think we're going to jump pretty quick into farming. Deer seem to be doing a-okay. I'm going to bring one to each of the points around us. Looks like we do have an area up here where a forager would do quite well. Just slightly concerned about the boars. The boars are dicks. They will eat my people. I could destroy this thing, but I think in the long run, it's going to be worth keeping. We'll keep an eye on it. If anybody dies, then we'll think about it. All right, we're getting everything up now. Okay, and we just need to start cutting down more trees, and we'll be in good shape, but no one's going to freeze to death. We got plenty of wood. We definitely want to do this salvage site here. So we got 5 people on it now, 96%. We got plenty of wood over here, more herbs. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got some firewood, got a basket. Beautiful. We got a lot to work with in this build. It's going to be beautiful. All right. So we're going to just use the natural landscape that we have here. I think this is actually really cool. So for storage, we want to get a stockyard. Now, I think probably most of the forestry is going to be done up here. So I'm going to place our stockyard about right here. That looks like a good spot for it. And then the storehouse is going to go really, really close to the main city, along with the trade post. Oh my god, look how much iron is there. That's beautiful. We got sand over here. Oh, not a lot, though. 900 sand, not a whole lot. Iron at the wazoo. Got another wolf den over there. We should probably take that wolf den out. I'm not going to wait for the wolves to come and kill my people. We're just going to preemptive strike these wolves. They got WMDs. Kill the terrorist wolves. Alright, cool. Wolves are down. Get these guys out of here. Boom. Alright, look at that. Gold ore, 6,200. Got more boars over here. We'll leave the boars alone for now. Continue to cut down all these trees over here. And we're getting real close to having this all done here. We're just going to prop it up naturally with the terrain. Nothing too cosmic going on here. Probably want to get 2 more people helping with the terraforming. And I'm going to prioritize the forager shack because it's a really good source of food. You need to identify a place that you can get food with a forager pretty much ASAP. You need, I believe, 6 months worth of food to attract your first wave of people. We have 2 points. So, the first point I think should always just go into natural philosophy. And the second point I like to put into hygiene, actually. This negative 25 reduced chance to spread disease, like, really helps out. It's just, I'm trying to think, like, well, you know, a lot of people die when you don't have it. So, it's pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to hold off on the terraforming for a tad, but we're almost done with it right there. This is just going to be it. It's going to be a nice little stretch. We'll get these new houses over here built. Get this up here built. And that will also bring in herbs and things that can help us stave off disease. It'll bring in eggs. That's pretty sweet. Greens. And potentially a little bit of hawthorn, so that's some good fruit. All those things that can help reduce your disease chance. We're going to start cutting down anything and everything we can get our hands on. Sometimes it helps to move the storage cart to where people are cutting wood down. But right now it's kind of every direction. Alright, we're bringing in a lot of meat here. That's great. Another knowledge point generated. So I honestly like spotters, view distance of lookout towers and town center. I'm gonna do it. It's kind of a crazy thing to do, but I really just want to get a good grasp of everything around us. This just helps us do that, especially early game. Laziness factor right there. Oh yeah, we got mushroom clusters. More herbs down here. Got our boar spawns. Yeah, it's just pretty useful to be able to see everything around you and start planning out your city and where you want to go. We got our clay over here. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we have it going on. That's a lot of clay. 4,600 clay is going to really help us out in the beginning of this. All right, let's take a step back from what we're doing. No firewood splitter, no smoker for a second. We got 6 months worth of food. And let's focus on getting all of these trees cut down and getting these new houses up. Okay. Yeah, we can see farming will be good here. This is, ironically, a really terrible area for farming. And you would think that the lowland lakes would be great. But we're just going to, roll with the punches. We do need to explore more down here. I'm going to send an individual. We need to really know that the area we're placing all of our farms is going to be something we can expand upon. If we can't do that, we're going to have to start relying heavily on grain. Nice, 7 people. Grain and animal husbandry. Nice, we have a little bit of willow here so we can make baskets. Okay, cool. We got a big area down here full of awesome stuff. We may not even need deep clay deposits. I may just be so wealthy I can buy them. That tends to be the case when you have a really, really large city that you can usually just buy all the resources you need. So we have a lot of herbs. This is going to be a great area for early game trade. That's an absurd amount of herbs. Okay. So, yeah, this area down here isn't perfect, but 90%... Oh, freaking... Okay. One of these boars is a little feral. That's okay. Yeah, this area isn't perfect, but it's going to do a good job. These guys are a little bit away. So we want to make sure that we have some houses around these areas, right? That we're going to be farming in. So, where's going to be the cutoff? Yeah, so this whole area here is definitely going to be housing. That way it's just got a nice proximity to the farming. Whole area here will be housing. So we also have this whole area right here. Remember, we want a 2-tile gap in between everything. This will ensure we have maximum awesomeness. And I did not do a 2-tile gap here. What was I thinking? All right. Remember, you can hold shift when placing roads to make sure that they can only go in straight angles. This will save your sanity. Probably one of the most important things when you're building your cities. Okay, 2 tiles, 2 tiles, 2 tiles. Beautiful. And build 3 more houses. We're just gonna go crazy here. Gonna go all out. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. Yeah. We're just gonna do that instead. Alright. So, right now I'm just trying to get the roads up so I can get my first farms going. We are going to be doing 12 by 24s because we really need to optimize, maximize the space that we're using in this build. Go this direction. Oh, it's going to trigger us going into this rock, which I'm not really quite ready for yet. I do like this 2-tile gap though also because we can put just all kinds of cool storage in there too. Okay, so this needs to start almost immediately right here. I'm gonna give us another 2-tile gap, and we're gonna run it from the farthest edge that we can right here. Right here. This is a 12 by 6. Perfect. And then right here is another 12 by 6. Perfect. I think we're gonna do something a little unique over here. It's 15 tile. We really want to utilize all of this. I may... Let's hold up a second. We don't always have to go by the books. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do want to think. So let's take the width here. The width here is 33. So we could do 15 by 15s here. Or some kind of weird hybrid. I'm thinking 15 across is going to be the best. Now, last time I played, you have to have a minimum extension of 5 tiles. So the best way to do a 15 by 15, I can't remember, it's 5 or 6, so let's find that out together. The best way to do this is to do a 10 by 10 and then expand it. So we're going to do 10 by 10s and then expand them into 15 by 15. So we'll do 10 by 10 over here. And remember, you can just get the fields up, and you don't technically have to have anybody on them. And sometimes I like to get all of my fields up. Yeah, and then we can expand 5 by 10 in each direction. Okay, so that's 5 in that direction. That's 5 in that direction. And that gives us a perfect road down the center of all of this. Okay. So, we do have this area above the farm where we can put storage as well. Won't have that. Perfect. Beautiful. This is gonna look really decent. And yeah, we'll keep a flow here. We got plenty, so we'll just do 15 by 15s throughout the whole thing. Should look good. And then we'll have another road down here at some point. We'll get these 10 by 10s up. We'll start getting, essentially at this point, we just need to get as many people as possible. Get all this going again. Let's put people back to work. Get the head up. Always like the calm of winter in this game too. It's really cool. Got some nice little herbs over there. This is a pretty terrible location. Probably won't do. Oh, we'll have to put someone over here because these willow will be really, really vital to us being able to make baskets for everybody. Very good. Okay. Well, we got some basic infrastructure. We got a stockyard up here. So the whole point of a lot of this was to start getting the storehouse. So we're going to take a pretty slow approach to this gameplay, but we'll get a lot done, I guarantee it. So trade's going to go over here. All right. So if this is the edge of the storehouse here, we're going to need a place for the wall. This all need to be brought up over here, and I think we'll be in good shape. So that gives us a spot for the vault, trade post. We don't need a whole lot of towers on this, so the whole thing doesn't have to be decked out. I may even boot this over 2 tiles and another one. I want at least 2 storehouses here and just like some corner towers. So I think this will work perfect. Making good progress on those farm fields. We've got 12 people in the farm fields right now. But we need to if we want to push our population correctly. And I believe that our forager up here should be doing a pretty darn good job. Yeah, 155 berries, 142 greens, 23 eggs, 36 herbs, and 28 mushrooms. That's a pretty good haul. So far, the boars have been pretty non-aggressive. I'm going to leave that body there for a little bit. I have too many projects right now that I think are more important than burying the dead. So, my bad. Yeah, 2 more villagers just came in. We got some more tech points. So let's start spending our tech points in areas that are going to help us right now. So this is a good one, production logistics, but not quite yet. Where I think we need to start spending our points is gearing up to get into forestry. That's going to help us with our early expansion. So venting chambers, this will help. We need it anyway. Disease resistance, reduction from fertility crops, very good. Wood lore is really, really useful if the map allows for it. This one doesn't quite favor foragers as much as I would like. There's only maybe 1 or 2 spots, but that's a pretty cool one to get. I think we're going to be in a place where we have more herbs than we can sell, which is going to be pretty amazing as an early game trade item. All right, and to reduce labor costs, we will do a little bit of terraforming with strip terraforming. It does the inner tile for free. Very smart. I'm digging the increased knowledge multiplier. I think that's going to allow us to unlock everything and make a really cool city. I can't wait to see what this all looks like when it's done. We're probably going to be building across the entire map. I don't think it'll be too difficult to do, especially with our goals of 1,000. All right, so we don't need this many people here. It's a 10 by 10. Probably need 4 people on this. And we're going to do the classic tried and true. We're going to do a little bit of weed removal, a little bit of fertility gain, and some beans. And then the trick is to see if this worked. Oh, you need... Okay, it does. So there's something weird going on in the game right now where when you expand, it just shows up as red. So you have to go out 1 and then in 1. So yeah, you expand by 5 by 10 one direction, like so. And then once we do that, we can expand by 5 by 10 in the other direction. We'll have a 15 by 15. And that's what we're going to go. Now, the bigger the better, because you get the same bonus from compost no matter what. So the fewer fields you have, the higher the chance that they're getting compost every year, essentially, which allows you to get some crazy fertility. It's especially important when you have really low fertility areas. Now, remember that your environmental fertility factor out here is 74%. This environmental fertility factor caps the gain of fertility increases. And let me explain something to you. So when you have a carrot, right, you can see there has an impact fertility of -3%. Now, what we found out in testing from a long time ago is this is kind of weird. So it's not always -3%. Sometimes it's -2, sometimes it's actually -1, and very rarely it's 0. But those probabilities are so low, you can pretty much always count on it being -3. Now, it's always going to be that -3. Your fertility factor gains, however, are not always going to be the increase you see. So you can see here we have a positive impact of 3% impacts fertility. You're not going to get a 3% gain in your fertility every year. You're going to get that 3% times 0.74, all right, 74%. So if you have 40%, right, or 50%, you're going to get like 1.5% fertility. And if compost, so when compost goes into a crop field, it increases it by 10% times your environmental fertility factor. So we can get a maximum of 7 fertility gain. That's pretty important to note, like when you're looking at rye or something that has -6% fertility. That basically means as long as you have compost going into your field, you can grow rye every single year without having to worry about any of these things. Now, I will say that like peas and all that, they really help. But essentially, when you do a proper crop rotation, you're probably doing clovers and beans, and you're only doing wheat in one of the years. So if the total positives and negatives of those 3 years is at least +1, accounting for the variances, like I said, sometimes you don't always get that 1%. It's like you get kind of screwed on fertility gains for some reason. It's just the way that they program the game. So it's just something to think about when you're looking at those fertility factors. And you got to be really careful where you place your farm fields because of that. So I can pretty much make anything work with an environmental fertility factor of greater than 40%. I can even make 30% work, but on 30%, I switch to buckwheat. I just never grow wheat or rye. On 40%, you can absolutely get away with wheat as long as you don't grow anything else that has a negative, and you're funneling a ton of compost into it at least 2 out of 3 of the years. You can typically get away with it. All right, so we got a good thing going on here. And now we got our storage up. So yeah, I'm going to put a root cellar right here in this little gap. I thought that was perfect. And then up here, I had to cancel the storehouse because I wanted to move it one. So we're going to have a tower right here. So I'm going to place the storehouse right yonder. And we're going to put a tower right here in the design and have a wall right there. We'll just have corner towers here, nothing fancy. And I think that will protect that area quite well. Now we have 28 out of 52 individuals. We have a good amount of food that's going to start coming in. We're getting there, but we're going slow and steady. It's going to win the race. And for our first objective right now, we really need to get a saw pit up and get a market up. So the saw pit, I'm just going to place here for now. We can move later. And the market, this is going to be the question. I think the market should probably go somewhere right here. So question is, do we have enough room over here for houses? I believe so. We're gonna have a 4-tile gap right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we'll have a 4-tile gap, and that will be for this area. So we're gonna have like multiple little towns. This will be one town, then we'll have another town, and then we'll have probably another town down here. And it's not gonna run very optimally, but I think we can get it to work. And the sooner so spawn points can't spawn within visible areas, so you can actually control raider spawns by using towers and visibility. So if we push down here, there's only so many directions the enemy can come from. But because this town is going to be so expansive, we're going to need 17 crops. We're going to need barracks and men that can sally out and meet the enemies in the field, or they're going to burn down so much stuff. Another thing that's going to throw you off. Oh, we need to unlock them. Yeah, here we go. Here's the market. So the market, ooh, look at that. That's perfect. When the market is expanded, the market should go right here. When the market's expanded, it will hit everything perfectly. This is a beautiful location for the market. We're going to slap that down right there. Yeah. So this will be one little city. Kind of cool is we could even just make up our own rules, right? We could have 2 towers right in the center of this. It'd be pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, 2 towers right here, walled in, would be pretty darn powerful. A little expensive. 1 tower would be better. I just don't like the way it looks with 4. And dang, we're getting knowledge points fast with this system. So let's take a gander. Yeah, taxation all the way up to 0.4. The range of the markets. That's pretty awesome. Very vital. We're gonna need as much money as possible. We are making the boards now. We are cutting wood down. A trade post will definitely be next on the menu. And you can see you get knowledge by constructing these buildings. The little scroll on it. That's pretty cool. I am going to get a cobbler up and place it right here for now. Some shoes going. Alright, yeah, we have no water here. So one thing that's kind of cool is if you put trees around a basic well, it does increase the water bonus, or at least it used to. So I think placing wells at the end area here. I guess we'll just have to bust through all this stone in the area over here. Now we got this nice little area down here with nothing to do with it. We could probably put a chicken coop over here. Be a pretty sweet spot for that. Okay, yeah, wells at the end seem to be logical, surrounded by trees. Perfect. Yeah, these 2 wells will be great. That will give us the water supply we need. I know I have a well over here in the design. I could easily fit the wells over here, but I think putting trees around it's going to give it a cool vibe that I'm kind of looking at. I didn't realize I was competing. Yeah, let's prioritize this building. All right, got the well up over here, and now we'll get the well down here up. Go. They got their work cut out for them. It's always fun in the early stages of this game, just starting to shape the colony. Villager has died to illness. You gotta be careful. Alright, we're gonna need a graveyard. It's actually looking kind of like a cool little graveyard spot. I wonder if the chickens can actually exist on a graveyard without it impacting them. Who knows? Put a graveyard right here for now, though. And like I said, what's interesting is sometimes you don't even know how much fish are in a pond. You can have a ton of fish in an area. So this area has 217 fish. So 1 person fishing here is probably going to do it. So we're going to place 1 dude down here for fishing. That will help us get a little bit more sustainable food. Boot this up just a bit so we can get through all of this. Okay, look at that. Yeah, once this upgrades, we'll hit that next building. There we go. Monthly is good. They got to bust through all this rock, which is fantastic. And we also need to get the trade hub up next. So we need to hit tier 2. All we need right now are 60 boards to hit tier 2, which means that I am going to crank this up to 6 individuals. And we're going to get rocking. Okay, got 13 free laborers. We got 8 farmers. We're bringing in lots of food just off these 10 by 10s, which is great. Like I said, we're going to expand these into 15 by 15s. The bigger the better. Honestly, I might go 15 by... let me do some math, actually. So I do 12 by 24s because that gives you the 280. I think the largest you can get is 290. So as long as we stay under 290, 15 times 16 is 240. Yeah, we can't do a 15 by 20, but we can do 15 by 19s. That's 285. Yeah. We'll do 15 by 19s here. We'll have 4 15 by 19s, and they will reign supreme. And then we'll do 2 more over here, then 1 more over here. And we'll just have a beautiful farming area down here that will feed so many freaking people. All right, we got 50 out of 52. We're moving along. This is great. I want to get shoes going because I think we're gonna burn through a lot of shoes real quick. Drought's coming, but we're overproducing food. We don't need this much food. And I probably want to expand my farm fields here momentarily. The sooner we can get the food coming in, the sooner we can expand rapidly. And that's the kind of cool thing about Farthest Frontier, is that once you get your population in control, you can really push the game. I will say at some point we're going to want a barracks. And this area down here is kind of cool. I won't lie. Like a barracks seems kind of like over here, potentially even a barracks up here on this ledge would look kind of like, I'm looking at it more from an aesthetic than a defensive point. Like just flatten this out real quick and build things around it. Have a barracks up there that they can sally out of. Will look neat. Little road going up there. It'll be a mighty little kingdom that we have. All right, we got a little bit of fire going on. All right, here we go. Got the fisher. So we want to get what, 270? Ooh, wow, 300%. 360%. Oh my god, it's the whole freaking thing. Yeah, 380. 380 right there. 380%. We're going to get every fish that ever existed before and after the end of time. Jeez Louise. All right, we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to do a full road all the way up. That looks a little bit neater. Perfection. Okay. Yeah, nice. Somehow we bypassed that whole rock there. I'm going to let that happen for now. We have plenty of rock over here. Let's start getting some of the smaller ones. We're going to need quite a bit of rock, but I don't want to have them going all day. Looks like we're running out of arrows, so that's scary. We're going to need to remedy that as fast as possible. So let's get the Fletcher up right now. I know we needed that for the tier 2, but that's just the way it is. Make sure they're still cutting down trees. Plenty of trees to cut down. Get up the remaining houses so that we can continue to recruit and have children. Yeah, I think we're just going to have a ton of root cellars up against this area. It's going to be sweet. Have one road right here, I think. Might even do a bridge across this at some point. Who knows? Yeah, this village is really coming together. I like the way it's all looking. I think when we get some of these things better adjusted, it's going to look really decent. I'm a little worried about going over the clay deposits, but I do think because we're going really high in population, let's upgrade this to tier 2, that we're going to have an insane amount of money. And when you have an insane amount of money, you can buy pretty much any resource that you need. It almost becomes a better use of time, but we'll see. We're going to have a lot of options for trade. Now, we need to spend a few more of these points, so we want to put these in good spots. 12% armor and 5% damage for soldiers, military logistics. I'm hoping we can unlock the majority of the tech trees here. So we definitely want production logistics to get to production management. We definitely want stone cutting. Okay, now we've unlocked. So you need to spend knowledge points in order to unlock the higher tiers. And we'll boot this up just to ×2 for the time being. We're going to get this all booted up here. And we're making ammunition now. So let's make sure that we got our quota set so they don't just produce 1,000,000 of these things. We're going to set this to 1,000. And for bows, I like to keep just an even 40. A good number right there. All right, tier 2, here we come. And we can start working on getting into the forester camp here pretty soon. All right, it says we're full. Not moving things very fast. That's bad. Because of the massive blizzard right now. That's pretty crazy though. Infinite iron, infinite gold, infinite stone. Oh my gosh. We're definitely gonna build a little town up over in this area, like some more residentials. And we're just gonna have a massive mining operation. All right, tier 2. You can see, we can even see a little out there now. Look at that. That's crazy. That's kind of why, and you know, previously we bought that perk for a higher visibility. I just think it's really cool being able to see this far. It also pushes the enemy spawns out. That's another added advantage right there. But now that we are tier 2, we can get into some of the better stuff, like work camps. But in order to get to work camps, we have to build a wagon shop. So hostile raiders have been roaming around. It's not going to impact us quite yet, but very soon. Put the wagon shop right next to the stockyard for now. We got a good thing going on here. So I think we're going to have double market areas. So we're going to build out more housing. Remember, we want our 2 tile gaps. Okay. Need to lower this area over here for the housing. Not sure what we'll put up here. I mean, we could do lots of crazy things. This a little bit flatter too. We got a nice little market area here. And we do have money coming in, so I think it's a good time for us to start planting the maples. So this will help increase the amount of water around the well. It's a little pricey, but you know, it's worth it. I think it's also gonna look cool. And we have all this wood over here. So a work camp would probably, I guarantee you, looking at this spruce, this is probably not the best area. Maple. So hopefully we can get our forester right up there. That'd be perfect. It's a really good distance between everything. Get some more houses up, get that population coming in. Ba-boom. All right. And right now there's a bug, so every time you load in, the graveyard empties. So it's kind of interesting because you only need the one. Looks like we're bringing in 100 fish here. We have a bit of a bean disease. The worst kind of disease to have. So we're going to do cabbage. Right. Our fertility sucks, but unfortunately food is needed. So we'll do cabbage until the wilt goes away. Over here is fine. We'll continue what we're doing. We're probably going to need to get a compost yard and a couple other things up here pretty soon. I'm liking what we got so far. I think it's going to work really well. We definitely also want to get our first tower up. So the tower is going to go right here in the design. We're just going to have 4 corner towers on our main area. And we're just going to go with the natural landscape so we're not spending, you know, an insane amount of time terraforming. More houses are coming up. Infinite clay down here too. Yeah. I like the small maps for this reason, as you can see here. I definitely think we're going to have a bridge across this area so that the forager can easily access all the herbs a little bit quicker. Hang another infinite clay down there. Oh yeah, we will not have resource issues. And the predator is attacking. It is just a sleepy little boar. Let's see, we got 14 laborers. Let's boot this up so what 10 people are building out of our labor pool. It only uses builders if there's something to build, so anyone not in builders just goes back to your labor pool. I like to keep this high so that they build things really quickly and then get back to work so you can enjoy the benefit of whatever they're building. Okay, no meat. I feel ya. This will be better. Another thing too is that the smoker uses firewood and meat, so placing your smoker and your hunter cabins and your log production all kind of next to each other is a nice little synergy. So we're going to do that. We have our wagon shop. So now we are going to get our very first work camp. So fertility of 71% there. Fertility of 76% here, but it's growing spruce, and spruce kind of suck. They have like a max of 5 or 6, but they grow really quick in this spot. I don't like it. It's kind of ironic because the maple 59% are probably going to be better than the, you know, high 70, 80s of spruce. So let's take a peek around. Yeah, for some reason it really likes the spruce. So fertility is annoying for that reason. But you cannot change what trees are grown. It's set like on the tile indefinitely. I will say though, out of all the places, this spot over here that's 80%, I really like where it is because it's 63%. It's like right on the outskirts of all these houses. Let's see. Up over here isn't bad, except for these boars are going to start attacking everybody. So for the time being, let's place it right here. Next thing that we need to do is get the trade. We need to start making moolah. And so the trade was going to originally go here. I think we'll just set it here for now. This is a good indicator of what's going to go down here. And we need to start getting this terraformed right here. And then once this is all up, we'll be in good shape. We're pretty much almost done with this area right here. This is going to be an easy terraform mission. And it's going to look cool. Going to have our little castle in the middle of everything. And the waste is starting to pile up, which is going to impact the health of our citizens. So let's get a compost yard. And compost yards are nice to have right next to all your crap and your waste. So we have the residential here. We could have the compost right here and then a bridge across. That would be kind of funny. I plan on having some other stuff here. So I think right here is where the compost yard is going to go for now. That it's not impacting the house is right where it is. Perfect. Right next to the, yeah, right next to our water supply. Beautiful. We have a disease spread. It's not my fault. They just need to shake it off. Okay. Here we go. All right, trade post is up. So let's start rummaging through our belongings, throwing as much as we can into this. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get some good trade going here soon. All right. Yeah, got a little bit of an issue there. That will get built up. We got multiple traders now. See, are any of them buying? Yes, we'll get the pelts over here at 9 a pop. That's pretty good. Early game, we can buy crude weapons. Probably some heavy tools would be smart. Let's pump that up. So that's 738. And let's look to see if there's anything. I'm going to hold off on purchasing anything. Something might come to mind, right? We might think of something. Now, one thing I would really like to get up is one of the amenity buildings, like a festival pole. This will help with entertainment and give us a small boost. We definitely want to get the tier 2 housing. So we're using a center plot here. Now in the center, you can place small parks, all types of stuff, more decorations. We have a whole area around the housing here. So I was thinking garden trails. So these are insane and very expensive. So we're going to go all out here. We're going to focus all of our efforts into the first stage right here. So this will be very, very pricey. Some of the money will go there and quite a bit of stone. But as you can see, we have big, big blocks of stone right there. Let's throw a little bit of this cash into the town and get that built up. That will be our first tier 2 houses. Also give us a little bit more of a population boost. And we'll probably just kind of continue that down the line here. Now let's prioritize the festival pole. Get that going. We have one root cellar, which I do not think is going to be enough. So we're going to get one more root cellar up right here. And we do have some crops and rot, very small rot issue. We have, it appears, potentially boars or deer coming over here. So that will be an issue. We'll have to wait and see what comes over here. I may need to get a hunter around these parts. That is a... Oh yeah, there's a deer spawn right there. 6 deer. Okay, so they're going to be bothering us quite a bit. So preemptively, what we're going to do here is get a hunter cabin up. Yeah, we have this little spot right here. These little nooks. This is probably a good spot for it right there. Alright, prioritize each of these. Good to go. Got everybody hunting. This is looking just dandy. I think we also have walls that we can place now. So it would be wise to get the first parts out here. There we go. And we will have a double wall like such going across this spot right here. So this will all be walled in, looking good. Get another wall up here. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of room. We need to move this saw pit actually, because it's not part of the design. Put it right here on that rock. And now we can start kind of hammering out the design here. I'd like to place a few more storage. I'm thinking we can place every other building in other locations around here. So, I mean, we have the trade post right here. It would be ideal to have a back tower. And let's see what we can do with this area. So, if we want to put a tower in the design right here, we can marry the wall right there. That would be pretty decent. Let's call that a deal. Let's say that this is what it's going to be. Also want to harvest this rock. Okay. We got a lot of people doing things right now. We're going to let them finish all that off. It's going to be great. And we need to make sure that we have enough room for towers on pretty much every side. So, boom, 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 boom. Do the same thing right there. Double wall this with a tower. Beautiful. So this will be pretty darn defensible. Multiple gateways in and out. It'll be really difficult to get into these towers. And we want to make sure that we have the same concepts over here. So this will probably be just fine. And we'll most likely move the Fletcher and Cobbler like right down the road over here. We need to make sure that here curve so people can get up and down. Nice, we got some boots, or shoes I should say, to sell. We can start selling some boards. I'm going to do it. I think realistically we just need to make sure we're bringing in as much cash as possible. Now we want to buy bricks and iron so that we can upgrade to a forester as soon as possible. So we have 69 days to sell this gent some stuff, get some bricks. Also want to buy bricks and upgrade the market to almost double the amount of money we get per houses. It used to be a 1-to-1 ratio, and it seems a little weird now. I'll have to do some digging to see exactly what's going on there. Oh, and we burned through all that wood. Not a problem, not a problem. We have this gentleman over here. Let's put 4 people over here. And let's actually also help them out. We don't want to cut these trees down. Those are our well trees. Cut all these trees down, even if they're only 2 wood. Yeah, so this will help us. We should be getting a really good bonus now. Look at that. Total bonus 94. Total bonus over here 98. So if we look at everything we're doing, fertility, oof, lots of different buttons. Kind of actually cool. Yeah, so you can see that it gets really blue around these parts. It's really blue around these parts. And so we know that this helps. But this area over here is just an insanely good water area. I feel like we should definitely just place a well down here. Right here, in fact. Just because it's getting a 97. So right here you can see we get 71. But we're getting a lot of different bonuses here. 71 for terrain, seasonal watering. 19-20%, but sometimes it can take a little bit for the trees to impact it, and maybe they took it out, but it doesn't look like it. That's how it's worked previously and historically. Right, so we'll get this going. Yeah, we're gonna have to work with this. New villager is born and a building is on fire. Beautiful. Yeah, this is looking sleek. Oh yeah, look at that. That's looking good. And then we're gonna have a wall, nice fence all the way around it. Yeah, way over the tier 2 needs. That's very good. Doesn't look like any animals have come in yet, but we're just about to grow. And we got 3 points of knowledge. So we need to get into forestry. So 1, 2, and 3 right there. Cool. Pause the game real quick. We lost that one gent. Oh, nice. He's buying herbs. We can sell these herbs. No, won't get them in time. That's all right. I kind of was way too busy. It's alright, we'll have plenty of opportunities to get those things going. We're not really hurting too much in my opinion. There's plenty to cut down. We can cut these guys down by hand. They're doing a good job over here. Let's see, we did have this gent over here getting some food. We don't need him anymore in this area. I think he's better off over here. So we're gonna place him right here for now on the edge of this and then move him over. There's an insane amount of herbs in this area. Okay, and yeah, it does look like the deer are coming in. Oh, there's a lot of deer. And even the boars are coming in to try to eat the food. So this will be an issue. And we'll need to get a fence up. So, interesting. We'll need to get some wood. And we're definitely going to have a lot of food. That's cool. It's cool to know that the boars actually come in here too. They've really changed a lot of mechanics. I don't remember if boars used to do that. Boars used to be kind of finicky. Okay, let's kill one of the boars. Okay. We are probably going to need to get 2 hunters up. So we're going to get a second hunter's cabin. Range in this area here. We're going to get a lot of food off of this. I'm just going to leave it open for now. Alright, 18 laborers. So, as discussed previously, we want to extend this all the way out. So, 5 by 10, and we're going to do 15 by 15s by 19s, I think, is what we discussed. These are going to be awesome. Do that over here as well. Start building up our population a little bit more. Max pop of 87 is pretty decent. This going. Got ourselves a little festival pole. Everyone's pretty darn happy right now. But yeah, I don't know how many people we can fit in this, but I'm pretty dang sure it's going to be a lot. And now that they fixed immigration and all that, I think I could hit 1 or 2,000 pretty easy. So we'll try. I believe we want to get an arborist up too at some point. So you can see this whole area down here is amazing. This area over here is even pretty decent. This, though, is atrocious. This isn't too bad over here. Fertility 74. And, ooh, this spot up here, 72 fertility. I think this is actually it right here. Because we don't have anything to do with this spot over here. So, an arborist over there would be great. We do have a wagon now. So, ideally, we would start getting some clay. We have a big clay mine right here. Let's get that up, start getting the clay in, get a school up next. All right, look at that. We're getting raided by 9 folk. So, let's ring that bell. We have 1 tower, and they're coming from this direction. So, that's going to be interesting. That's good. But that also means that they're going to have access to all of our good stuff. We want to make sure that we're ready for this. Let's put this down to ×1 mode. They're pretty weak, as you can see, so they'll be easy to kill. But we don't have anything. If one of them runs off with some goods, we don't have anything over here to get them. So we want to get that extra tower up probably as soon as we can afford it. Yes, see these guys over here? I don't think this guy got any loot, but because there's really nothing to steal. Well, we got to be careful. All right, and there's nothing to trade. I think we're good. Sometimes you'll see a second wave, so you have to be a little careful. I think we're okay for now. And we have no stone in range, so we'll just push it to resource ratio all wood. And I'm going to boot it out over here where things are thick. And let's come down here, because, ooh, we got it up. Beautiful. Yeah, and we just got our forager shack right here. Wonderful. And I'm actually kind of wondering... Yeah, I'm actually kind of wondering about a bridge across right there. That would make it a little bit faster for him, not having to walk all the way around. All right, 120 stone. Okay, we don't have the stone for it right now, but that's okay. Saying he doesn't have anything to hunt. We're going to put him up over here. I'd rather overhunt this area than have them eat my beautiful crops. 8 people is a lot. We're going to boot this down to 7 for now. And turnips and... Okay, so now we have a cabbage disease. We can't win. We're going to go to beans. Hopefully we'll start putting some fertility into this. So the fertility being low isn't that big of a deal if we can start putting compost into it. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to... the weeds are almost gone, so let's just do a hybrid, right? Let's do some gain with the clovers and then a little bit of the beans there. We'll keep it like this. We'll get the weeds done in like maybe 9 years. All right, we got some traders in. Let's check them out. It looks like we have some pelts for sale. That is actually one really nice thing about overhunting. All them pelts. Now we have 310 gold. I'm going to pull some of this into the trade post. Still no iron. You don't have to rush like crazily into getting a forester up. It's just a good idea. But yeah, we're doing really well. Nice. 8 people just came in. Filling this out. Let's get a second wagon going. I have a feeling we're going to need it. And okay, the woodcutter is keeping up. We got wood coming in. Everything in the back is looking real sharp right now. And I think we got our terraforming pretty much on par. Let's do this. Let's get the walls up first. No. Okay. Yeah, we want to have double walls, which means this needs to be 1 tile more than it is. And then we're good. Get this done. And then we'll be golden. And then all you do to make this look nice is just shave the sides. And then it looks beautiful like this. And you're done. So walls up. Go. And we got plenty of room in here. Alright, so actually, yeah, let's put some of these buildings over here. And then they can just walk up the ramp and get the resources that they need. Alright, look at that. All them pelts. Alright, 273. And we're going to buy some more of these. Okay, so that gives us a good chunk of what we need. It's just iron holding us back now. Pretty darn sure. Yep, 15 iron. And then the 30 bricks. Then we have 45. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is just get some iron. We'll be in good shape. Move that down there too. And that gives us a lot of room. We'll probably put a vault in here. Or maybe even a barracks. Ooh. Yeah, barracks would look pretty sexy right there. That'd be the smartest thing to do, in fact. So that we do not forget it, let's just place the barracks there right now. And then turn off construction. Oh yeah, that's sleek. Because we got this whole back area right here for a vault now. That's beautiful. Okay, yeah, and look at that. There we go. 1, 2. Perfect. Okay. Everything's coming together now. I'm gonna let them get all this stone first. We got a nice little sand pit right here, 6,600. That's beautiful right there. All right, we got a little Bambi action in here, but that's all right. I think what we'll do is we'll pull this gent to patrol the fields. But we got 2 big fields, and we're gonna go a little bit bigger here. Got 1 more tech point. So I think disease resistance is really smart because we're already seeing some pretty strong disease. Oh, noes. Okay. We're going to need to do a little bit of a crop rotation. We're going to do some spinach, turnips, and cabbage. Yeah, we're kind of in a pickle here. I haven't had the disease issue like this in quite some time. So we're going to do some things that hurt fertility but are going to help with everything else. So bean, peas, buckwheat, carrots. Oh, God. We just can't win. Leeks are about the only thing you can do, so we'll do leeks. Over here, we just have beans and peas that are hurting us. Weed's almost gone, so let's do this. Okay, second year. We're growing leeks there. Okay, this will work. It is better to kind of do your farms in thirds so you can do a little bit better job on that, but that's okay. And look at that. Oh, we won't be able to do it with the barracks there, but you know what? That will be the exception. You have to go through a barracks to get to the gate. So that's a good exception. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Okay, so we got this all done. And yeah, we have a whole back area here. So we can place a vault once we get the iron. Nope, it won't actually fit. Well, there's other things you can do back here. So we could, in theory, place the vault over here and then use the lower tier storage to fill these areas in, which is pretty neat. So here's what I'm thinking. Get this clean. I put a vault there, and then they added these to the game. They're not really great at all, but they're good fillers. So you can see we got a lot of filler. We can place one here, here, one here. And I think in the thick of all of this, I'm going to place a well in case anything here catches on fire. And then we'll do the same thing down here. We'll get one storage depot and then a vault. And so that will give us everything we need. We'll have one nice storehouse, bunch of storage depots, kind of fit into the design. I mean, I could bump it out one more tile, but I just don't want to. It's kind of cool to use the different buildings too, right? It gives it that aesthetic, makes it look a little bit more unique. But this will be pretty defensible on its own, especially with the barracks. And then surrounding it will be all of our nice little buildings. Put a road out that way. And a road out this can. We'll just keep moving these gents to keep cutting down more wood. And we can always use our own people, too. There's plenty of wood. Oh, over here is plenty. Let's cut this all down. There we go. Get another road. Yeah, we got a lot. We can put another city up here, too, which is probably good because, like, I think we'll have a bunch of deep core mines going. We're going to have a lot of population here. We're going to need quite a bit of food for this population, in fact. Dang, 161 herbs. Not bad. I'm trying to think about what to put on these corners. I was thinking statues would look cool, but very, very expensive. But it would look cool. Alright, let's sell the pelts. Look at that. Iron. Okay, we almost have enough to buy the 15. Oh, no. Let's throw everything we can into the trade post right now. Get this done. And then we'll get our forester up. Oh, those are looking sweet. I like the vibe. Alright, look at that. All the pelts are in. I think we only need to buy like a few more. I'll just buy 11. Call it good. And let's upgrade this bad boy. Bring him back over here for now. I'm thinking right here is good. 70% is good with me. I want to make sure we can still build everything in this little area here. I might have to move some stuff around, but that's okay. We can at least get it started. 87 out of 88 pop. Definitely want to start throwing up a few more houses. Get this terraformed. I like the vibe here too. I think once we get the fencing up, it's going to look really cool. In the center, I haven't decided what we're going to do. We'll make it look nice though. It won't just be a bunch of spammed things. All right, let's throw a little bit of money back into the town, even if it's just 65. I just want to make sure we don't go broke. Gonna move the wagon shop right over here next to the buildings. I think this is fine for now. We're gonna build this out as a mighty industrial area. It's gonna be great. Got a little bit of deer action. Hunters are getting a little bit more active. Let's throw a little bit of money back into the town. All right, let's throw a little bit of money back into the buildings. I think this is fine for now. We're gonna build this out as a mighty industrial area. It's gonna be great. Got a little bit of deer action. No, not doing a good job. Move him over a little bit. Seeking weapons. Butchering meat. Perfect. Yeah, the deer gets scared pretty easy, so that's one thing you got going for you. But we're going to need to manually come in here and start deer genocide again. Most likely what I'm going to need to do is get the fence up, and it wouldn't be too difficult to do this. We just need the wood. And since we are going to have a fence in the designs over here, this is actually pretty cool. We can always just destroy this fence later. Oh yeah, it's one wood, and we'll just cut off everything up here. They'll have to walk all the way around over here. That's, you know, not too big of an issue, but it will at least make it harder for them, and they're more likely to get scared off. Protecting your crops is probably one of the most annoying things early game. It's wise to leave room for fencing, but you don't always have that option. You can do a fence right here. Boom. So what we're gonna do is just bump this up one. Yeah, we're gonna fence in. We're gonna fence in this whole thing. We'll replace this eventually with hedge fencing, and this will keep the deer though from coming from the top side, and then we can kind of focus our efforts to the south. There's a good amount of deer over here. So let's place this guy here. Place this guy over here. We're gonna move our efforts to kill these deer populations next. Ooh, willow. Yeah, we'll probably have to get one forager just for the willow here. We got lots of food. I'm not losing any sleep, so. Alright, cut down trees. It looks like we just don't have enough labor force right now. Let's see. I think we just need to let people come in and people to grow up. We have only 58 out of 88. That's actually not too bad. We don't have too many children or infants relative to like what it could be. Sometimes there's like a 50-50 ratio. That's when it gets bad. All right, let's up that market to 2 individuals, and we're going to upgrade this next. I like these guys. They probably look really cool when you upgrade them too. And this barracks almost hits everything. We upgrade the barracks, I bet you we can hit all corners. We have a 18, right? So I think we should just hit the next corner right here. There, that's great. That's going to make this really easy for us. All right, vault right here. I'm just going to let them start building it. Pretty darn cheap when you look at it, and it will remove a lot of the storage. You know, we don't want gold here if we don't have to. It weighs a ton inside the storage. And we'll put 2 people in the cobblers, start selling shoes. And we're going to build a bunch of houses over here. And I'm thinking goats, cows, apple orchards all the way up in here. I think it's a great spot for it. Pretty close to all the food over here. Okay. So we're going to place him on Protectorate on the crops. And we're going to place him on Deer Genocide over there, basically. Oof. Yeah, there's some deer around here. Now that we got the fence, we're in good shape. Need to seal it off right there. Ba-boom. And need to put a fence gate right here, and we're in business. Let's just double fence this area here, make sure they can't get in. Fences are amazing. Sanity boosters. This prevents all these gents from up here wandering in. All right, look at that. We got ourselves our forester now. So we're gonna pick this area. I don't know why it picked that area for planting. Are these any good? I'm pretty sure they're birch. Yeah, birch sucks. But it's what we got. It is what we got. Let's put it on a 2-to-1 cut plant ratio. It doesn't really matter. They eventually plant everything. It's always good, though, in the beginning to make sure they're planting. You can even just say, don't do any logs, only plant. That's a smart thing to do, too. Because we can just use our workforce to get logs. And I think right now we should get rid of auto professions and take a look. Because we don't have any wood. No point in them doing that. There's no point in the firewood splitter, but I'm going to leave them there anyway because I don't want to forget them. Then we're going to freeze to death. So, is that I have a habit of laziness. We'll do that. All right, sell some boards. Sell this one pelt. That gives us 1,069. Need to buy a little bit of iron. We also, for sure, want to buy just a slab of brick. And 300 gold's all we need. We have a raid coming in. Ring that bell. Yeah, here they come. Small raid. Nothing to be afraid of. Got 2 towers. There we go. And let's pause for a second, because we really need to get some more money. Spent all our money on bricks. You want to make sure you have enough bricks to repair the market, because if it gets damaged. But yeah, these guys are weak. But right now the defense is doing really decent. So with the town center, with everything level, it's not clipping. That's one good thing about not going to the plus 18, but like even plus 6 is like things don't clip as much, so they're a little bit more effective. With the barracks and all the towers in here, this is going to be the heart of the city. Everything's going to be built around it. It's going to look cool. Okay, we got a second individual here. He doesn't have anything for us to purchase. That is fine. I am primarily interested in the money. Okay, and we're good to go. But I also like the fact that we have towers that kind of shoot any bears that are roaming into the town. Okay, fencing is up. I don't know if I like the way this looks. I don't. So we're going to delete this one fence and just leave it like that. Perfect. Village was raided, killed 6 out of 10, and they ran away. Beautiful. Okay, so they're playing like crazy over here. Very good. And it looks like nearby yeah, the trees are diminishing the yields on our patches of herbs here. That kind of sucks, but there's plenty of places for herbs, so that's not that big of a deal. All right, look at that. All them shoes. 462. Throw that into the town. Upgrade our market, which needs to be researched in the tech tree. So let's see where we are with that. Oh, here it is. Market focus right underneath the taxation. Boom, boom, boom. Let's upgrade this bad boy. And now we're going to pull in a lot more money. Probably want to think about getting the healer's hut up and making sure that everything is sitting perfectly in the sphere. And we're doing a little sloppy on the food. Okay, look at that. Weeds are gone now, so we can switch to our bean diet. Weeds are still here. This is good, but we're losing too much fertility. Looks like bean are not an issue. Just turnips, cabbage. So we're going to switch to this. And we should have less disease here as we level up our tech. Ooh, 1 shoe. I will sell you 1 shoe, sir. And a little bit of iron right there. Beautiful. We can get as much of this as possible. 21. We need 17. Perfect. We're going to get our vault up now. Beautiful. 104. So we have enough for like 12 or 16 people to move in. Very good. Ooh, another knowledge point. Don't mind if I do. We're going to place this right into disease resistance. Disease resistance is a little bit more important than I thought it would be early game. Seemed to be a bit rampant. All right. We're quasi keeping the enemies at bay, but I can see them. So we're going to go and kill as many of these deer as possible. We also want their meat anyway, right? There we go. Last deer. Okay, that will help out substantially. You also want to keep your chickens and everything kind of separate from your farm fields, so they will eat it. That sucks. Look at that, the vault. Boom! 25,000. Okay, so now we're going to say don't store any money in any of the storage. Yeah, I don't want them storing any of this stuff in there. These guys can't store money anyway. So I guess, yeah, we can just leave produce materials here. All that stuff we don't care about, you know, firewood and tallow and paper and iron and pelts, things that just kind of accumulate, they can go in there. We'll keep this guy, yeah, no food, just for usable items. Maybe we'll allow iron and pelts in here. I think that's a good idea. 64 peas. Oh no! You jerks! I can't win. They went around the whole freaking lake. Yeah, we're gonna just have to fence everything off. Well, I mean, we're gonna have meat for days. I'll probably need to actually get another hunter over here. Or maybe, what I should do is just move one of the hunters. I mean, I have his sphere over here, but it's not enough. I think I'll just move him right here. Yeah, that was a lot of peas that they ate. All right, 5 more people. Let's autofill. Let's get everyone back to work. 14 laborers even after that. We're in good shape. Right, so we have a really good thing going right now. A little bit of the crops are being eaten by animals, but we're getting close. I'll probably seal off this area with a fence, and then we can think about the future. But I'd like to get as much of the farmland in here as possible. We have ourselves a nice little excavation site over here, so definitely should get the temple up. No fish in range. Looks like, there we go. That was weird. A little bit of a loading issue. As you can see, graveyards are emptied when you load in. So let's boot this up just a tad bit. We're making really good progress. We got this upgraded marketplace now, hitting all of the houses. And we're at 95 of 104. I say we get another set of housing up. Here we go. Oh, nice. Look at that. Right next to the forester. That's beautiful. I don't even have to move the forester now. So we got a good thing going on over here. Let's tell them to start cutting logs when they can. We got ourselves some clay coming in, which means that we can start looking at getting a school up, teaching these people how to read. And hopefully they don't, you know, try to kill me in my sleep. My biggest weakness is that I need to sleep. All right, so school right here. The education rate's up. And I say we go the distance. I say we do it. So I think we've settled on a night by a 19, so that would be right here. I don't think we can go any further than that. Yep. So 9 more, so 9 down from 10. So 15 by 19 is going to be what we use for this build. Boom, 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 boom. What? Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, 15 by 9, perfect. All right, these are going to be some monster fields. Now, with that said, I would really, really like to get the next field up. So, if the next field starts right here in this green area, I say we have a road because it's going to get really tricky. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. And I say we have a road in each direction so that we have something to walk on. Might do a bridge across something over here. But this will help us out. So, unfortunately, I can't do anything with this. I don't think we're going to even use the infinite clay down here. Let's see, how much clay do we have? We have 4,500. And the question becomes, do I have other major clay deposits? Now, infinite clay is pretty awesome. I will say, though, I believe fully in my heart. Okay, there's another infinite clay over here. This is a little... Well, both of these are far away. Unfortunately, if we're going to hit 1,000 pop, we're going to have to really have enough food. And this is one of the best places. And we want to keep all of our food next to each other. So, unfortunately, I have to fill this whole area over here. So, we're going to start off with a 10 by 10. And then go off in each direction, like we did before. Like I said, you need a minimum of 5. That's why I do that. You need a minimum of 5 to expand. So I do a 10, and then I do 5 for the 15. So that's the whole logic behind that. If you do too much, you won't be able to expand. Let's get the dirt road going down here. And we'll just keep going along. We have 14. Yes, we need to start also getting up. Ooh, some cool buildings. Now that we have clay, I would like to get an arborist up at some point here. So he's going to be here. Let's start flattening this area so we can get a better idea of just how much I can fit. Now, there are going to be cows in this design at some point. So 15 by 15 per. That would give us 2 barns up here. Now, the barns, you don't want too close to your house because they lower desirability. They cause issues. So, I mean, we could have the barns in the back right here. And then, yeah, like we could have this whole back section over here all lined up with everything that we need. That would be great. We have a road right here, so let's try to get this road going up into this area and build around that. That's usually the best way to do these things. So that's 13, and this is 15. So that's funny. This is exactly 15 right here with the road. That's a problem. And we could lose a couple of trees, to be honest. And the cows can easily go on the roads for farm. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. So this actually might work out. We have perfect 15s like that, because this is basically a perfect 15, and this is basically a perfect 15. And then we can fence this area in, make it look nice, have our little, you know, farming area up there. It's going to be nice. Place 2 individuals into the Fletcher. This is going to be something I think we're going to be needing, as we're going to have a lot of hunters and a lot of pelts that we're going to need for all the boots and hide coats. Let's see how many individuals that we have right now. We have 1 free and 12 building. So yeah, we desperately need more people. We can have a max pop of 136 right now. We'll continue to decorate the other areas so that they can also upgrade. But right now, we're just going to focus on growing. And I know I push my food really fast. That is a wise thing to do. Because if you want to get a lot of people and you want to grow fast and get a good industry, you're going to need food. And if you don't have food, you can't grow. So that's why I push fast. Be worth it in the long run. 2, fertility, you know, builds over time. The higher your fertility, more food you got. It's a great thing. Okay, we got the school going up. Forester seems to be bringing in wood now. Got all this industry over here. Ideally, this would be the best place for a forester. We'll probably have 2. And, I mean, the goal is to build out this whole map. So we'll see what we can do. This map may be too big. I might not be able to build out the whole map. We might just build out 3/4 of it. And get to 1,000. I think getting to 1,000 pop is honestly the best we could do. Okay. Yeah, but now that we know what we're trying to accomplish here, this is really, really easy to do. We just need to get everything aligned with this area here, and then everything aligned with this area here, and we're golden. That will be 2 cow places up there. And then we have more room for cows down here. Have a road going down into that, just like a little mountain valley of cows. Reminds me of where I'm from in California. Go through Central California, it's just all cows. Yeah, basically this is Central California over here. All right, look at all the freaking herbs we're bringing in. This is amazing. We're gonna make a lot of money there. Let's place some boards up for sale. Let's keep going down the line and trading anything and everything we possibly can. Money is going to be very vital to expanding quickly. Soap would be a good one to make. Got ourselves another knowledge point. So let's look at some things that can potentially help us. Grain. Yeah, we're gonna go into grain immediately. That is a no-brainer. Especially when we get our food up. Now, we are pulling in 42, which means that we can get ourselves a healer hut up, which is a very wise thing to do at this point, even though financially it is going to quasi-wreck us. So, we need to unlock it with technology, and we will do so. The academy. So the academy can really go anywhere. Now, I probably should put housing in this area, but a different kind of housing. And I should probably put housing up through this area too. So realistically, the academy would probably be better suited to this back alley. Yeah, you want to read a book, you gotta go into the wrong side of town. I don't know, I'm setting a bad example here. 830 for the boards and 198 for the pelts. Buy some bricks. We don't really need any of this. I'm gonna hold on to the cash and I'm gonna keep selling boards. Beautiful. Okay, look at that. New wave of immigrants are coming into the town. So essentially we're limited by a few things right now, and not much of it is really going to hurt us. So we're going to do these. They're 10 stone and 25 monies. So we got the monies, and we're going to get these up. This is wonderful right here. Every time we do this, we get a little bit stronger. And I'm a big fan of pushing myself past comfort points. So we're also just going to go off the rails over here a little bit. Build a few more of them. 7 people just came into our city. Oh, boom. Okay, we're in good shape. Look at this. Look at this. This terraformed out here. And this is looking good. This is 15. This is going to be 15 right here. Need to keep getting this area all situated. We'll let this rest for a bit. This doesn't have to be done for some time. It's kind of nice actually to wait till you have more people. The only thing I really want up here is the very first arborist. So we know that this is going to be one of the areas, and we know that, ooh, nice, we did it. We know that this road here. So this will be our first farming arborist area. So we can think about this in several ways. Do we want... Oh, nice. It's a good area, too. Yeah, we'll place our gentleman right here. And then that will give us the perfect area up there. And that would be great. We can move them later if we have to. We got our school. We're just going to take a random person who is educated to start teaching. Beautiful. All right, that is a lot of stone and a good chunk of cash, but we got it. A lot of the houses are already upgrading from just some of the little things going on, so these will kind of help out. We're going to have hedge fencing on the side. It's going to look cool. This is going to be a neat little city. I guarantee it. This is probably going to be one of the cooler cities I've made. And I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Oh, look at that, 1,200. Let's get a grand off of him. We should probably start making baskets. So I do have willow in that one area. So let's do two things. Let's get a forager. This is a really bad return, but the willow is worth it. So he's going to get these 14 herbs and the 12 willow. That's probably a late game decision right there, like when you really think about it. That's a really bad return. We're just going to go with it. I'm not proud of this moment. It's a very bad investment. But we need to do it because baskets are really good. They increase the carry capacity of your civilians. So if you don't have a basket, you're missing out on a lot of productivity. All right, so we got this area going up. So let's see. We're going to get this all hammered out here in a second. We have a barracks that needs to go up. And we should probably have them start mining stone preemptively because we're going to need a lot of stone. Get all that. Looks like we have a minor infestation of deer. Yes. They're vermin.
Okay then.
Oh my god, they are devouring. Yeah, we're gonna get the fence up here in no time, but for now we'll just have to manually control all of the deers. All right, look at that. New dude in town. All right, let's buy heavy. Let's buy 3 heavies. Buy a bunch of clubs so that our hunters have something to beat the boars with. That really helps out. A little bit of loss, but that's all right. We killed so many of them. We're about to expand our farming pretty substantially. That's about to get up. We're doing great. So we're just going to let this cook basically for about 20 minutes and come back right now. All right, look at that. That's perfect. It's the perfect distance from the houses right here. So we'll have the barn right here and the fence around it. So we just got up apples and pears, or peaches, I should say. Apples and peaches, so they yield in different times, 50-50. That way your 2 people are working at peak efficiency, and you're bringing in fruit all throughout the year. It's a very, very good way to do this. Someone just died in a building. Oh no, the Fletcher must have burned down to the ground. So that's another thing. They did not get to it in time, and it's probably because this doesn't allow you to get up this way. So we need to do that so they can get to the well. Got a little bit of trade going on. And we're still in the glow up phase right now. So we're just going to continue to fast forward, get some of these things done, and then get to the next stage. You can see we have all of our crops over here. So next goal is to expand this 5x10. And then once you do that, and I think you might actually be able to expand and then expand. We're going to do our 15x9 right here. Perfect. Yeah, so we can do it all at once. So we're going to get our 3 big crops up. And this is going to allow us to do some awesome stuff. So without tech points, my rule of thumb is 3 people per 72 tiles. Or 24 tiles. So we have a 15x19. So 285 divided by essentially 24 is 11.8 workers. So we only need 12 workers. As long as we stagger when yields happen, we should be pretty darn good on this. So we're not going to grow anything on this guy yet. We're just going to get rid of the weeds as fast as possible. Help them catch up. But this is really, really good. Another thing that we can do now that we have this, eventually we can modify everything that you see here. But we do want to get the fence up around this whole dang perimeter. Which we just need to get rid of these deer once and for all. This is a terrible place for a farm, but I think I'm going to do it. And eventually. So we can get this guy up 2. Just make sure we block everything off. And then once we eradicate all the deer from this area, we will be fully optimized here. That will be a good thing. And let's make sure we got gates. And we want to make sure that we have the ability to get out the back sides here so that we can move around easily. Put 2 gates on the back. Beautiful. All right, so they'll get all that in. We'll kill the deer. A little bit of rot happened, but that's fine. And it looks like we have a deceased villager. A nice clean graveyard. People are dying in the streets because of bears. So we'll need to come through and kill all the bears here in a little bit too. And there's the bear right there. So we're going to send in a team of hunters and we're going to take this bear out. Because he's actually ravaging the entire community. So yeah, let's go get him. Next point I get, we're going to put into the healer hut. Oh, good God. Oh, no. Well, he took out one of the hunters. It was worth it. The village will always remember you, person's name I don't know. Okay, let's break our builders down to 8. Get a little bit more people in the labor pool. That bear... Yeah, the bear did a number on the village. He was just having the time of his life for a bit. But we got lots of food. People are going to keep coming. 141 max pop. We're about to get the Fletcher rebuilt. Got a basket shop going now, so we'll get 2 people in there. Baskets are going to help our productivity quite substantially. And we'll move our hunters around after we get the fencing up. Yeah, these look great. I actually kind of like the 15 by 19s. They look different. They're a little cool. We will for certain need to get stone, some stone roads for this. All right, look at that. The fence is getting up really well now. Eventually, this whole area will just be one pristine giant farm. We'll have another one right here. A little bit of immigration. We need a big wave coming in. We're going to build the academy right over here. One tile off the road. Want to put like some park garden stuff around it, I think. And we're going to get some grain going here ASAP now. Once this 3rd farm area is up, we're going to get a ton of grain going. And we're going to get cows going immediately so that we can have a bunch of cow and milk and get some different food sources. And we got a good thing going on over here. We're bringing in a good amount of logs. 75 of the 124 are fit to work. We do have an insane amount of kids right now. But this is looking super dope. I love it. All right, let's get a barn right up here. I'd like to have it pressing up against everything. The slope is too steep. Because what we're going to do is fence this in. If you don't fence in your cow, they'll run amok and they'll find and they'll eat things and they run away. It's actually really annoying. If you fence everything in, it's really, really easy to keep everything contained. So we'll have a fence all the way around here, especially for the secondary area. You know, we might actually just leave this alone over here and we might just go this direction with all of our cow. Because it would be nice to keep the forester in this part. We could do chicken coops on the side here. That'd be a great idea. So we can continue. But we might, yeah, we might have to go south. So what we should do is come over to our arborist. And look at the areas that we can do this. And oof, unfortunately I might have to eat my words. This is one of the better areas to do it. But this actually can be done anywhere. This isn't a bad spot. Except for all this area right here, which is terrible. But we'll find out soon. We just need to look at fertility areas and all of that. All right, here we go. Barn right here. I'm going to have it so the cows go out this side. We'll have a nice little fence on the back side here. I'm just going to place the fence as a placeholder, so that I do not forget what I was doing there. Nice. 9 people just came into the village. We're getting some upgraded houses. We've almost hit our max population. So the next goal is going to be beautifying this area. Probably carpet cleaning this zone out. We may move the forester camp slightly back like so now. Yeah, and then we'll push the housing out to the north. Build out this wonderful area over here. We have all the resources. Get the academy up. And that will all happen in the next chapter, so long as people post in the comments that they want to see more, because it is important that I am making series that people want to watch. And a special thank you to all my patrons and members who support this channel. It actually does help out quite a bit in motivating me to make this cool content. Everybody else have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.